Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ritual Disc Flip Podcast. I am your host, Chris Nays. How the hell are you? Waiting for your response. Well, that is good to hear. Thank you for responding in a hearable fashion. I promise I heard you. My name is Chris Nays. I'm your host, and today I am still on a week-long high from Morsefest, and then a 2 week high from Iron Maiden in Indianapolis. If you haven't heard those live gig uh, recaps, go ahead and stop this episode. Go back to your feed. Click on the old clickety do and listen to those and let me know what you think. I had a really, really good time the past 2 weeks, and it all came crashing down. No, as soon as I got back from, I don't know if I mentioned this or not. On Sunday night, I hung out with some friends and was playing frisbee, and my foot went into a hole in the ground sideways, and I have been struggling with that this entire week because I walk all the time at my work. It's been a struggle, but today, recording this on Sunday morning, it's finally starting to sort of let up a full week later, and I'm hoping that it continues in that fashion. On today's agenda, I tease that I'm gonna continue kind of sharing older clips of conversation with my buddy Brian and I. For those uninitiated, for first-time listeners, my friend passed away back in June. He was a frequent guest on my old show, which I still have a whole bunch of audio from, and I really am enjoying going back and listening to them and sharing them with everybody. I think people get a lot out of it, and we talk a lot about music and our previous experiences together as friends, and all of it is interesting to me. And you know, they've sort of been these time capsules that have ripened with age, and people really really like listening to my friend and I speak. So that's going to come up a little bit later, and I'll get more into what we talk about later. But to sort of fill out the beginning of this episode, I want to talk about the most current vinyl and stuff that I've been listening to. So let's get into it, shall we? Day before I took upon the road trip to Indianapolis is when I purchased most of these. I have been doing a ton of overtime because of storms in the South here in America. So, um, you know, when I get a nice big fat check, I kind of tend to want to run to the store and find a bunch of stuff that I've been putting off for a long time. So, without further ado, let's talk about some of it, shall we? Mahavishnu Orchestra. This is a band that I've recently got into. If you are unfamiliar, they are uh, centered in the jazz fusion sort of prog rock world. Brainchild of a guy named John McLaughlin. They were active originally from 71 to 76 and then 84 to 87. So, I believe John does a lot of stuff even to this day, but this particular band is what he is most known for, and for good reason, because it's really really good stuff. Over the years that they were active, they had almost 20 members contribute, either live or on the record and on records. Really is a band known for genre blending. Um, there's obvious Indian and Jimi Hendrix influences that you'll hear, especially listening to the first run. They're also known as innovators of using Mini Moog and Synclavier in a band setting. Before them, that really very seldomly happened. So it's cool to come upon a band like this many years into my music journey, you know, especially since I'm super into progressive music. You would think I would be turned on to this earlier than now, but everybody takes their own path, right? So, anyway, first of two records I picked up by Mahavishnu, Birds of Fire, their second album. It's fully instrumental. Listened again to this in full this morning. The standouts are the title track, Birds of Fire, the track One Word, which features a very nice drum solo, and the closing track, Resolution, which is a very short track, but is sort of genius in its simplicity. Um, I definitely hear Hendrix and his influence on John's playing. He John is known for using a double neck with a 12 string attached. I just really can't recommend this record enough. But moving on to the self-titled sixth album that I also picked up. I didn't know anything about either of these, by the way. I pick up suggestions from podcasts and things like that, and then dip in like for a song or half a song online, and then quickly turn it off because I want to hear the whole thing. If I can find it on vinyl, I want to. Anyway, also picked up their sixth album, self-titled. It's one of two Reformation era records between 84 and 87. And you could definitely hear that they are from a much later time in a sort of evolved era, because he switches a lot more over to the Synclavier, which very reminiscent of 80s Zappa, because Zappa was absolutely in love with the Synclavier and did, when he was too sick to play music anymore, he was using the Synclavier almost exclusively. And you can go and find those records, among the mountain of records that Zappa has. But especially on track 3, Night Riders, you get this sort of overwhelming Synclavier use, but he integrates it very nicely. It's not overwhelming at all. Vastly different than the other record that I got, though. And I do want to say, comparing drum sound specifically on each, you could tell that the style of recording drums had also evolved, because the drums on the sixth album sound way better, in my opinion. Of course, that depends on taste. But, yeah, some standouts on this one. Very short track called Jazz. Another, The Unbeliever. Another, Pacific Express. Another is When Blue Turns Gold. Honestly, the entire B-side of the self-titled Mahavishnu record is untouchable. It's amazing. And I really liked this quote at the bottom of the back of the vinyl. It says, "Dedicated to the great spirit of music, who speaks the unspeakable." That's pretty deep, man. Music is something it's beyond words, right? It's a way we use to express how we feel without even speaking. Of course, they put it way better than I did and much more concise. So, gotta love that great spirit. Moving on to a compilation record. I didn't know this is a comp when I bought it, but anyway. Bill Bruford Master Strokes compilation. It's taken from 78 to 85, released in 1986. So Bill is a drummer, most well known for his work in Yes, King Crimson and Genesis. He's a complete master of what he does. There are very few drummers who innovated more than he did, who played with such intensity as he did. And if you're at all interested in progressive music or music that challenges you, please check this guy out, Bill Bruford. Who I have heard recently is totally inactive. He doesn't play drums anymore, which is kind of sad because he's really, really good at it. Even at 70, he should be able to do all of this stuff that he does. Anyway, this compilation is, let's see, solo writings and and also features a duo with keyboardist Patrick Moraz. I really feel like this record had shades of all of his other bands. Some of the standout tracks are Hell's Bells, Travels with Myself, and Someone Else. I, you know, this, I would say this type of music, this, as far progressive as it is maybe not where you should step into listening to this type of music. You should go and listen to early Yes and early King Crimson and use that to build off of, because you get a sense of where these musicians come from, where their ideas come from musically, and then they move forward through their journey, and it makes a little more sense when you have the background information, right? The when you have a solid foundation built underneath the giant mansion you're about to fill out with furniture. Is this a weird analogy? I think it is. Anyway, Bill Bruford is great. I have yet to dig into everything he's done, and I look forward to all of it. Moving on, I want to get to this before I get to a couple of others, because was a low point, unfortunately. I purchased a brand new Rage Against the Machine Evil Empire record, 1996's follow up to their debut. For me, it's an absolute essential record. That's something that I have been wanting to do with collecting vinyl, is pick up all of the records that made me fall in love with music. And I finally found this at in the wild, and it was a it's a fairly newer release that they put together, but um you know initially side A, zero change from the version I love. One of the first, again, one of the first records I ever fell in love with. Um, Opened my eyes and ears to potential of rock and roll that I didn't hear before. The first time I ever heard this record was actually when I was working for my mom, and we were delivering bakery goods to somewhere, and the girl who was working for my mom put this record on, and I immediately freaked out. And I was like, I need to borrow this from you immediately so I can listen to it. And I put it in my CD player as long as she would let me keep it, and it was maybe only a few weeks. She's like, I want that back. So that's funny. It's a crazy memory. Anyway, a weird memory, I should say. Yeah, the bass and the drums throughout are so good. The mix on this record is perfect. The weaving of Tom Morello's guitar style in with the rest of the band is like this crazy dance that I've never heard before. A seamless melding of styles. If you want to hear what a perfect snare drum sounds like for a rock and roll band, this is what it sounds like, right? So go and listen to this record. Standouts for me: Vietnow, Revolver, and Tire Me, which is pretty much just a hardcore song. So good. Get to the B side, giant scratch covering 3/4 of that side. I couldn't believe it. It started making a noise, like a little blip, every few seconds or whatever, and it's totally unacceptable. I had to message them immediately, and of course, as gracious as the Planet Score guys are, they immediately were like, "Yeah, no, we'll do whatever you want to do." So that's cool. Love that record though. Hopefully, I get it. Get a replacement. Moving on to, let's see, one of Death, the band Death's final albums, Symbolic. Most of these, I should mention, I just happened upon them searching through the racks of Planet Score, which is how you want it to happen. You just want to find stuff that is amazing without having to think about it too much or special order it or anything like that. Symbolic was put out by Metal Blade. It's probably I would say this is my favorite record by Death. Chuck Schuldiner is the main songwriter. Features some of the most crazy drumming. I believe Chuck even wrote all the drums, and then Gene Hoglan came in and played on it. But man, is this a fucking firestorm of a record. Is that a good way to describe it? Maybe not. But definitely an essential for any heavy metal fan. I can't see why anyone would not like it. And again, I listened to a lot of these this morning. I don't know how I was able to squeeze them all in, but I'm determined sometimes. The final record of the day is Flying Colors' debut self-titled album. Picked it up at Morse Fest 2019. Came out in 2012. I don't remember if it was initially available on vinyl or not. It probably was, but I wasn't in that world yet. So anyway, I'm the only thing I missed out on merch wise, and I could have probably got it if I had bought it the first night that I was searching through merch, but I was just in such a hurry to get everything bought. And I passed on it for whatever reason, and it was only there the first night. The Similitude of a Dream vinyl, quadruple vinyl. I don't know why I passed on it. It might have been the most expensive one or something like that. I don't know, man. It's all a blur at this point. But this record that I picked up the morning of day 2 for a nice little discount is their debut. Really nice heavyweight vinyl split onto 2 records. Even though the original record is the length of 1. Sounds great on vinyl. But a guy who I met in line that day reminded me that there's a raw version, which basically stripped it of all the effects and stuff that, possibly maybe a little bit of mixing issues on this one as well, depending on your taste, of course. But I have listened to this version for years, so the original version with the effects and everything. So, it doesn't bother me that much. However, I did download the raw version today, and I think I'm going to put that on after I get done doing this. See what that's like. I'm sure I'll love it. I'm kind of a sucker for anything Portnoy, so as you know by now. Excuse me. Highlights of this record, of course, are The Storm, Love Is What I'm Waiting For, which they had some help writing on that one, I think, and then Infinite Fire, the album closer. They played The Storm and Infinite Fire at the show the other day. This is a band that honestly is unlike any other modern progressive band. Um, without, I would just say go and look it up. I don't. That's the problem with this. Sometimes is like I want to put in clips of songs, but at the same time, sometimes episodes flow a little better without them. You know, and it's really easy. All you got to do is look. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast yet, but I've gone over to the dark side. I do make a couple playlists on Spotify once in a while. When I own it, I just go to my trusty iPod that has everything on it. But when I don't, like you potentially don't listening to this, all you gotta do is go to Spotify, look up whatever band I'm talking about, look up whatever musician I'm talking about, and you can plug these songs into a playlist and listen to it yourself. That's all I got for you. Also, there is a third version of this album called Island of the Lost Keyboards, in which Neil made his own mix, and I don't remember if it's. He explained this when he put it out, but I don't remember if it's his demos that he sent off and then they all changed it, or if after the fact he went back and was like, "No, I don't like this. I want some of my parts that are missing put back in." I have a feeling it's the latter. Because if you're throwing speed bumps in the way of your own album coming out, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So, with that, let us go finally to Brian and I's conversation. This is part 2 of the last one I shared a few weeks ago. This is from episode 51 of my old podcast, and I'm going to try to pull up as quickly as I possibly can when this episode came out, because I feel it is important to let's see. Okay, so originally this album, what am I talking about? This podcast was put out the second week of August 2016. So this conversation is about 3 years old. We recorded it at the end of July in 2016. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. It starts out with some rock and roll conversation about Dream Theater and Rush, moves quickly to Stanley Kubrick movies. Then we go to some interesting stuff, some Tool rumors from 3 years ago, which is cool to listen to now that the album finally came out last week. Way after the fact. It's very strange. And then we talk about A Perfect Circle a little bit. And, all of that stuff, it was a dream to listen to. It really brings, as the person who's listening to, for editing purposes, which, by the way, I didn't really edit this at all, this second part. It brings me very close to him again, and that is that's one of the goals of this, right? Another goal of this is to just spread his love to all of you guys. I really feel like me, going on these trips to see some of my favorite bands, some of Brian and I's favorite bands, picking up these amazing artifacts of music. It's honoring him, right? And it seems like I'm probably going to be talking about him every time I do an episode now. And it's just what it is, man. So, might as well embrace it, right? And just show as much gratitude as possible for him and for me still having these conversations. It was never the goal to have this stuff recorded for when something like this unfortunate stuff happens. It's just a product of what I do. I love having conversations with my friend, enjoying moments with my friends, and letting other people hear those conversations. That's all it starts as, and then it grows into something amazing. So, here is part 2 of the conversation with Brian from August of 2016. Hope you guys enjoy. Please share, and if you like the episode, please rate it on wherever you listen to this. It's a very easy process, I promise you. Check us out on Instagram and all that fun stuff. Until next time, bye-bye. Slipknot was very much, in that time, was a gateway band to all these other fucking bands. And it just expands from there. And
Yeah.
then I find fucking Dream Theater, and it's like, that shit's my wheelhouse. Really. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different thing.
Well, first time I heard Dream Theater, I remember thinking, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, they're like 80s, but they're like heavy at the
They
same
got
time.
advantage, yeah.
I was like, they got balls to them, but like they're like, you know. And then then I started checking out like more of their stuff, and I was just like, this is incredible.
The more I dug into it, the better stuff I found. You know?
What is it? What's the Awake? That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That's the album, right? Awake with like 6 a.m. and
Yeah.
Space Dive Bass and stuff. That's probably one of my favorite albums of theirs.
That's a quintessential.
Because that was one of the ones where I first started listening to them heavy.
Yeah. I did a Dream Theater podcast with this dude, Thelma Rigo.
I think I listened to that one.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
It ended up kind of hard to listen to because there was an echo on my voice. And
Oh man, I hate that.
I don't know how that even happened. It was just some technical shit. But he put it up anyway, and it's still up, and people would go listen to it. Look up Dream Theater Radio on iTunes, and you can find that podcast. But we talked for like 2 hours about Dream Theater, and we went into like all the every fucking Dream Theater story that I have.
Mm-hmm.
We dug super into the new record,
Oh,
the double album.
Yeah, that one's amazing.
The Astonishing.
Yeah.
But you know, I got into how I first listened to him too, which was I found, was that some kind of indie record store? Or
You had like a friend pass away or something, right? You were like going through it was like a rough patch or something when you first got into him, wasn't it? That girl or something passed away.
Ashley Stevens passed away.
Yeah.
That was probably like about a year into when I started listening to him, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So very early, yeah. But I went to this music store that doesn't exist anymore. It was up north off of 270 somewhere, and I was looking for different kinds of cymbals than would be at like Guitar Center and stuff.
Oh, was it Mars Music?
Maybe.
Like way up north in Bridgeton?
Yeah, it was in Bridgeton.
Mars Music.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
But I found a VHS tape of Tama, like, when Guitar Center was supposed to give me this VHS tape when I bought my first drum set,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like an instructional thing, and I still have it.
Yeah.
To like help you set up and tune and give you the basics, and
Yeah.
fucking Portnoy was on there.
Oh, man.
And
Is that where he's got the long hair and he's like flipping? He's like, okay, guys. And he's like,
actually, no, that was an earlier instructional tape that he had that I also
so good.
I also have that, but but the VHS that I got from them is called Tama, like Out of the Box and Onto the Stage or something like that, and he plays a little bit of Under a Glass Moon,
Which they played on the 20th anniversary.
yeah, and which has a sweet double bass drum beat, and that kind of like opened my mind to what double bass, like how you approach double bass.
R.I.P. to Motorhead.
For
That guy,
sure.
Phil from Motorhead started.
Yeah. Oh, he totally did. Overkill.
Yeah.
That song. Check out Overkill by Motorhead if
If you guys aren't, any listeners aren't familiar with Overkill by Motorhead,
you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself, but
You should. But you feel some shame.
but hang your head.
Yeah. So, that really got me super into them, and it just expanded from there.
Yeah.
But we've like we were talking about earlier, like we've totally bonded over Dream Theater. It's really just like all kinds of bands.
We've bonded over just all kinds of music, really. Just it's always been music with art, really in general, because we like books too. We like
You
books.
pushed me to listen to more Rush too.
Oh God, that's
It's like I can never thank you enough for that.
Oh man, well I think we were like drunk at like 18 years old or something. We were sitting on
Yeah.
that one guy's monkey bars.
Oh, it was at
And I was
at Andy Bunch's
Yeah.
party house.
And I went through and I sang like almost a whole Rush album. I did like moving pictures from start to finish.
No, we were talking about Farewell to Kings.
Oh man, I love that album.
We were talking about Farewell to Kings.
That's got Xanadu on it.
Yeah, and 2112, but Farewell to Kings at that time was like a record that I had recently bought.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, like fucking Xanadu.
Mhm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like ridiculously good. I really a couple of songs on there maybe are dated.
Yeah, Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man, yeah. That's always kind of like a take it or leave it song. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
meh.
bit of a filler, but it's
Right.
got Sirius X1 and Xanadu on it
Yeah.
though.
You gotta respect
Part
Rush.
one of hemispheres.
You gotta respect Rush for really fucking putting their balls on the table with 2112, and then from
Yeah, they
then
were
on,
they were
just
going to
doing
get dropped by
whatever
their
they
late.
wanna
They,
do.
you know what I mean? Like before, like they were just like the reason they did 2112 was like we got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
We're going to get fired.
right.
Bam! Then it became what it is today.
Exploded.
Yeah, it's a timeless record.
Yeah. And that's a band that is super inspiring to me.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
just because of the quality of their music, but of the
Longevity.
attitude, the longevity, but the attitude towards music itself.
Mhm.
No fucking compromise.
They never gave up.
Yeah, and if Rush had ended, they would have fucking continued playing music.
They could have ended
They're
too,
musicians,
multiple times.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Well,
Alex and Getty have both done solo
yeah.
projects.
And Neil went through like unimaginable pain and came out the other
Oh
side.
yeah, we don't even want to get into that.
No, but
That's just he became a totally different person after that.
yep.
As anybody would when your whole family dies like that.
But
God, here's to you, Neil. Man, we're sorry. You're the man, though.
Neil's the best.
You're the man, though, Neil. If you're,
he'll never listen to this.
he will. You'd be surprised.
I would fucking.
He Googles his name. He Googles his own name.
I would guess that he does. Yeah, just to check up on things.
Just to see who's talking about it. If I was Neil, I'd Google myself.
I think maybe the most important thing to remember when you're creating music or art is zero fucking compromise. Do what you want to do, what your vision is,
Mm-hmm.
and if anyone tries to fucking tell you that you shouldn't do that, they're wrong.
Yeah.
You're right. Continue the way that you think you should. The same thing is Frank Zappa.
Zero compromise.
Do your thing in the face of everyone saying no, doesn't matter. Stay tried and true to your ideals and what you want to do. And,
Oh, yeah.
And if nothing else, dude, you're happy with it at the end of the day.
Create a vision and then see it through.
Right.
Really. The only reason anybody fails is because they stop trying.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we're talking about Rush, for example. Their first 3 albums weren't selling,
Yeah.
and they were going to get dropped. You
Right.
know, but they put their balls on the table, like you said,
Yep.
and they did it.
Right.
Now, thank God they did, because then we never would have had 20. Just imagine if Rush stopped to Caress the Steel, That would be crazy.
It's just I never like. You never really even think about that because it didn't happen.
Yeah, because they did like 20 more after. Yeah.
And they just became legends. But Caress of Steel would have been such a fucking like a downer letdown.
It would have been such like a dark end in the history of Rush because that's like what might be their darkest album, really, with like the Necromancer and Fountain
of Lambeth.
Yeah.
I don't really like that stuff. I don't like. There's maybe one or two.
You don't even like the Necromancer?
Not really. Like I think that they.
What about Bastille Day?
Yeah, Bastille. I was just gonna say like, there's a couple of songs on there that are fucking great.
Yeah. Well, there's only like 4.
Yeah. There's like
Lakeside Park's boring.
Like, but I like Lakeside Park.
Live version on All the World's a Stage.
Yeah. Lakeside Park and Bastille Day.
Oh, I think I'm going bald. That's another song on Caress of Steel.
So three save tunes. Save tunes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that makes that album worth listening to for me.
Yeah.
Necromancer and Fountain of Lambeth, like I'll visit them once in a while. Those are those songs for me, Rush songs. Like I'll visit them once in a while, but like most of the time, not really.
See, it's been a bit of the opposite for me. Like I would more go to Caress of Steel for the Necromancer and Fountain of Lambeth because that's when they started getting into the really, really long stuff.
But that was like experimental versions of it. I think that was like baby versions.
They're like
testing the water,
learning their voice. You know what I mean? Like when Pink Floyd did
that makes it at
metal.
That makes it at least interesting to listen to. Now is it pleasurable like 2112? Is it like or anthemic like 2112? No,
it's absolutely not going to be as anthemic as it.
Yeah,
I mean like.
It's just two different worlds.
Yeah, it's
different visions.
Apples and oranges, really.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it's just preference.
Yeah,
you know.
I think they were doing the most drugs during the Caress of Steel album too.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, and well, they definitely kept the weed smoking up throughout.
Like, yeah, I bet they still puff it
for sure. Well, definitely,
at least Alex.
Definitely Alex does, but I think like on occasion the other dudes do too.
Last time I saw Rush,
they're Canadian. Like, what do they care?
Last time I saw Rush, when they played Tom Sawyer, when it's today's Tom Sawyer, it's High on You. Alex did this. He was like,
and then in Twilight Zone when they play Twilight Zone.
Oh, classic.
And
Passes to Bangkok is about scoring.
Yeah, or that's the song I meant.
Passes to Bangkok is about scoring shit.
Yeah, and when they do live when they
We
play
Only
that
Stop
song,
for the Best.
Yeah, and then there's the part where you hear them sucking in air, and that's what he's doing on stage when they play that part every time he does that.
That was one of the first riffs I learned on guitar. Was Passes that.
Kyle will occasionally bust it out, like just. Out of the fucking air at practice, you know what I mean?
Anyone ever told him he looks like James Hetfield? He's got the rhythm guitar and he's singing. I mean,
he gets more Justin Poole than James Hetfield, but I'll make sure to let him know you said that.
Looks like Justin Poole.
Yeah,
I've never met anybody who looks like Justin Poole except Justin.
Well.
But I don't think I've met Cal yet.
I think no, you probably haven't.
I must now, though. After I
would you like another brew?
If I may, sir.
Yeah, dude. You're more than welcome.
After I stole your White Castle, or as I say, your White Privilege Castle.
When we were on break, that White Castle was fucking delicious.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yep.
I'm going to stop for the best. I'll throw that away.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'll take
Oh, yeah, let's trade.
The fucking... One of the bottle caps stuck to the magnet side of that.
Birds of a feather.
So... yeah, cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers, cast. All you guys out there listening.
I'm trying to think of where what thought what we left on?
Well, we could change the subject if we want because we were talking about Rush's transitional period.
We went.
So we could transition ourselves if we want.
Let's before we move on from Rush.
Rush doing drugs.
Favorite Rush album?
Oh, Hemispheres. My favorite Rush album is Hemispheres.
What makes it your favorite? And sell me on Hemispheres. Sell the listeners on Hemispheres if they never heard it.
La Villa Strangiato.
That's all you had to say for both of those.
If you ain't a fan of Rush,
yeah,
check out La Villa Strangiato.
But there's no vocals.
Yeah, it's instrumental. Well, let's stop by Hemisphere's title track after that.
Yeah, Hemisphere's title track, and I would say even though it is a B-side track, Circumstances.
Oh yeah, I love that song.
Circumstances is probably one of my.
The Trees is on there too.
Oh, the fucking Trees.
The Trees is on Hemispheres.
Lest we forget the fucking Trees, man.
God.
Jesus. You know what one of my favorite Rush moments is, and this is sidebar.
We're doing a lot of sidebarring.
Still one of my favorite fucking Rush moments ever. Guitar intro to The Trees.
Oh, yeah.
On the live record, Exit Stage Left.
What is it? Boone's Bane, I think that's what it's called, or something like that?
Yeah. That shit gives me chills every single time.
Jacob's Ladder live is cool.
Jacob's Ladder. Woo! Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my favorite.
I don't want to get too pumped. Permanent Waves?
Yeah.
That's your favorite?
It is.
Let me guess. Natural Science?
Natural Science? really top to bottom. The entire thing.
Even the Entre Nous?
Oh, yeah. That's a loving song.
It is.
And that's a Geddy Lee written song, which is
he wrote the lyrics to that one.
Yeah, which is not normal.
Yeah. He wrote the lyrics to, what's that song?
Geddy Lee
Cheers.
actually wrote the entire song.
Really?
Yeah, everything. Well, sans drums, of course. That's goes without saying.
Well, they say that all music by,
they share credit.
Yeah, lyrics by Pete Neal and, music by,
but
Lights
I think,
and Lee.
I'm pretty sure he maybe wrote the lyrics to that one, too.
He wrote the lyrics, I think, to Tears on, 2112. I think that's what the song's called.
Yeah, so, Permanent Waves has always been a favorite.
Which is the album after Hemispheres.
Yeah. and they decide, like, it's such a unique Rush record, and The Doorway, it's like, it's a crazy in between
It's
their
right
most
before they started
successful
getting
record.
to the keyboards and everything.
Well, yeah, but it's like they took a different road. You know what I'm saying?
But Spirit Radio was a huge hit too.
Like they could have just kept going down that same fucking Hemispheres road, that prog road.
Did you ever see Beyond the Lighted Stage?
Oh yeah, I love that.
They said like when they were making Hemispheres, they're like, we're done doing 18 minutes songs.
And it's But and then they go more for quality songwriting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not that the Hemispheres isn't quality songwriting in itself, but it is a little bit of masturbating, technical wise. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, give it to me. Hemispheres porn all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'll lap it up all day long.
Give it to me. Yeah.
But,
where's my cake?
So, but it's an interesting bridge to Moving Pictures. You know what
Which
I'm
was
saying?
the mega. That was when like, they broke through. That was like bam, Rush.
And often forgotten, but you know, in the major discussion of what the best records are of theirs, because of Moving Pictures right after it, and Tom Sawyer and shit like that.
Oh man, Red Barchetta.
But Casey plays just as much stuff from Permanent Waves as it does from Moving Pictures.
Well, they do like mandatory Rush every day.
Spirit Radio, motherfucker. Spirit Radio?
What else is on?
Like, Spirit Radio has been a concert mainstay since it came out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. I think we say more. I don't think they ever not played Spirit of Radio.
That's what I'm
since they wrote
saying.
it, yeah.
So, yeah, we said
Oh, Free Will's on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we said we were going to move on from Rush, but we just keep...
Yeah, then we got deeper. We just dove headfirst into the Rush pool. Nothing wrong with that, though.
Remind me before we leave, I want to show you my Rush concert tour books.
Oh, like the programs?
Originals.
Oh, yeah, I remember you sending me pictures like when you first got them. Like,
I got
texting me.
originals, not the reprints that they have now.
They reprinted them?
They reprint them and sell them on the website now,
Whew.
which is pretty sweet.
I remember looking when my
But
dad
the
would come home
original
from Rush
is
shows and
the
have
original's legit.
Yeah. My dad had a couple from when he would see Rush back in the day.
Does he still have them?
Oh, of course. He'd probably kill somebody if they tried to take him.
You're getting those.
Oh, yeah. He bought a white Gibson double neck.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Just like just to have the same guitar as Alex Lifeson.
The Xanadu guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Gotta love Rush.
He bought it just to learn Xanadu with it, I think.
Yeah. You gotta love Rush.
If you don't, you're a hater.
We're at 48 minutes just from this portion, and we did half an hour on the
On Rush.
No, not half an hour on Rush. We probably did 20 minutes on Rush.
Yeah.
That's fine, dude.
We're taking up time just like a Rush album.
What better way to fucking build a podcast than on Rush?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we can talk about Stanley Kubrick films.
honestly, I want this to be about whatever you would like to get into. I kind of covered, like, the groundwork of our friendship and stuff like that, and that's really all that I had planned to want to cover, at least. You know what I mean? And the New York trip, which we talked about that.
But so much happened on the New York trip, though. It's kind of hard to. We'd have to sit down and make a draft and an outline of the whole New York trip because so much happened.
We covered a lot of the big stuff, but there's plenty more.
We went into that one store where they were selling Zen statues,
Buddhas,
but they were all
Buddha statues.
$5 to $10 a piece.
Like
solid bronze and shit.
Well, it's fucking Manhattan, man.
Yeah.
It's like rich people just blowing their money on whatever.
Yeah, and it just sits in someone's apartment.
Oh, totally, yeah.
There's no use.
They're
for
like,
that.
look how worldly I am.
Oh, I hate that when people do that. My buddy Freddie lives in Vietnam now, and he was
Wait, Fred from...
when we saw him in New York.
He lives in Vietnam?
Yeah, he lives in Vietnam now.
Seriously?
No joke.
I also like that you say Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because like, that's how they said it in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's solid.
Nam.
Yeah. So why?
He had a buddy that he lived with in Chicago who started a business over there.
Yeah.
And
what kind of business is it? Because I know he was a cook.
I think it's like maybe tour or something like that. But he went over there to work for the business his buddy started.
You mean like tourist?
Yeah. I don't even think he's I was like, you must be pretty fluent in Vietnamese now, right? And he's like, no, I don't even speak it. And I'm like, you've been living there for 4 years and haven't picked up on the language?
I guess it's hard to though. Like that kind of language is night and day from what we.
Well, they say English is the hardest language in the world, though.
That's true, but
because of all our different syllables. And stuff
and weird rules, like 2 words that are spelled exactly the same, but 2 different meanings.
Like there.
Yeah, yeah, just weird stuff like that other languages don't really have that, you know. But that's he was there in New York. We went to that fucking French fry place with him and his buddy
with 100 sauces, and he came out with none.
Him and his buddy. Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
you should pass this link along to him about that.
I will.
What's your fucking problem, Freddie? Why don't you just give us some sauce? We were there.
There was 100 fucking sauces. You didn't even get ketchup or mustard.
You had your friend driving us around talking about going to see Sublime.
Yeah, he was from Louisiana or something.
Yeah.
He was from the Bayou.
He said he had seen Sublime. That's all I remember about that dude.
And he bought us brews.
He bought us a little bit of booze and helped us waste time until 3 in the morning.
At the terminal.
Yeah. So, there's...
He might have been coked up.
Who knows? Well, you mentioned Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, man, I love Stanley Kubrick films.
I recently... Let's see, what Stanley Kubrick have I watched recently? I think the last one that I Netflixed... Actually, two that I Netflixed recently were Space Odyssey.
Oh, God, I love it.
And Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, so good.
Unbelievable movies, right?
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, dude.
He's one of my favorite directors. Just because
Joker's one of my favorite characters in any movie ever.
Yeah. You like The Shining, right?
Oh, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is one of the first horror movies I ever saw.
You ever heard about like all the strange theories about The Shining? Like Room 231 and stuff? Like it's supposed to be about like secretly Stanley Kubrick's admitting that he filmed the moon landing.
Yeah. There's all kinds of weird theories about it, but I think like people are reaching a little far maybe. Like, yeah, he was a weird guy, and yeah, he made some pretty interesting and some would say odd movies.
Well, like 2001 was like the actual first shot of space, I think.
Yeah.
Like first time the camera was actually live space feed.
I tried reading up on some theories of the ending of that movie recently. I don't remember what they said, but I really enjoy movies that challenge you as a viewer, and not
when the guy becomes the star child and the monolith.
Yeah. But I think Kubrick, like, that's very much the kind of director he is. Like, he's not making comfort food. You know
No, absolutely not.
He's not making your fucking Indiana Jones.
No.
He's not making your Star Wars.
He's soaked in symbolism.
Yeah. If nothing else, in that movie, the fucking monolith itself.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, just think about the first time you saw that movie.
Oh, God, first time I saw
that movie challenges the fuck out of you the first time you watch it, right?
Well, like the first time you got no idea what's gonna happen or anything.
Yeah, well, that's what
it's just like
this could
where's
go
this going
anywhere.
Yeah, and then when it's over, it's like, shit, I gotta watch that again.
Right. I gotta try to understand this.
Well, you gotta sync it up to Echoes. Pink Floyd, the Jupiter and Beyond syncs up with Pink Floyd's Echoes.
Yeah.
Which is super fun.
Do you remember the Dream Theater show where they opened with the Space Odyssey theme?
Yeah, Thus Spoke Zarathustra.
Yeah, dude, that was badass.
Yeah. I love that. That's such a good song.
That's Portnoy's idea, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, he's a movie fucking buff. But,
yeah, like a good, what was it? There was this one thing, it was like, they were going through Portnoy was like getting on a tour of his house.
Yeah.
And he went to his like...
his movie collection.
Yeah, and it's like... literally the size of this whole apartment. Right. It's just like DVD.
Right.
And he's like, I love to just go to a little shop and see what they have.
He has fucking laser discs and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Laser disc. That didn't last too long, did it? They'll come back.
R.I.P.
Yeah, they'll come back. They're coming back. Blu-ray laser disc.
Full Metal Jacket. What's the dude's name? That plays Pyle. I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
It's not Benicio del Toro, but for some reason that name. It's like a 3-part name, isn't it?
I think so. But that dude played the villain on Daredevil recently.
I didn't see Daredevil.
Fucking knocked it out of not the movie Daredevil, the series on Netflix.
Is it a series?
Yeah, they did. They have 2 seasons of it so far.
Not the Ben Affleck, right?
No. This is a newer one.
Did you ever see Ben Affleck throw that fit on Bill Maher?
No, I didn't.
about Islam?
No.
Somebody was talking bad about radical Islam, and Ben Affleck like literally has like a meltdown.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna have to.
like how He's like, all they want to do is come here and eat sandwiches and raise a family.
I want to say Bill Maher was on one of our road trips, like at the hotel.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
We stayed in one of those in Chicago. We stayed at like that ratty hotel, and it was probably on. I think HBO was on. But at any rate, what I wish I could fucking remember. And I know people are gonna message me and be like, "It's this guy, obviously."
Let's look it up.
Just IMDb.
Yeah, I got Google.
But that guy is a fucking amazing actor. Private Pyle is such a crazy, interesting character, and that's an amazing view into there. And I don't know if
oh god, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio, dude. It's such a crazy window into the life of those guys.
Just
like breaking down your humanity.
Just to break your spirit, to make you be a part of that team of killing. Yeah.
And what's insane about that is that them banding against him, the other soldiers in that platoon or whatever.
Yeah, like when they're beating him with the soap in the socks and stuff like that.
Them banding against him brought everybody else closer together.
Yeah.
And made them truly one unit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, after he blows his brains out.
Well, but before that, though, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that sergeant was a dick, too.
They would, yeah. But without all those elements, like, they wouldn't have been as good of a unit as they were in battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, obviously, like, shit goes fucking
haywire
after that, but,
Did you see Eyes Wide Shut?
Yes, I've seen Eyes Wide Shut. I like that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's another one that's super thought-provoking.
Yeah. I think Nicole Kidman was being a hoe the whole time. That's just my personal theory.
The scenes at the mansion are some of the fucking most intense.
Oh my god, yeah.
The whole time you're just like sitting on the edge of your seat.
Oh yeah.
You're wondering what this is and
what is the password.
There was no password.
And there was no password. Because he's fucking with the mega elites.
Yep.
Bohemian Grove.
That
I mysteriously disappeared after this podcast.
Yeah. That movie's actually a lesson in, if you're a musician, keep your mouth shut about the secret party that you're gonna play at.
Yeah. Especially if you're a blindfolded pianist.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You obviously have no idea what's going on around you. You should maybe chill out and not just tell people about it. You know, like,
yeah, especially Tom Cruise.
Be a professional. Be a professional. You know?
Well, he tried not to tell him.
Yeah.
He kept the guy's like, he's like, these people I play for, man. He's like, they didn't play around. And then Tom Cruise is like,
I gotta know.
He's like, I'll give you $1,000.
Right.
Yeah, that movie. That movie's crazy because Kubrick died like right after he handed it into the production company.
Yeah, I don't know that he was even completely finished with it.
He was like right after he finished it. He's like,
really?
Yeah.
So that's like people that work and then when they stop working, that's when they die.
Then there's conspiracy theories about they're like, they killed Kubrick because of what he revealed in Eyes Wide Shut.
That's bullshit. He didn't get killed.
He was old.
He's an old fucking man.
I think that was the longest shot movie ever.
Yeah.
It took like 400 days of production.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, he's famous for shooting as much as possible.
Yeah, and making people do redoing cuts.
Yeah.
Like, that was good. Well, we're gonna do it again.
Well, Shelley Duvall and
incredible actress
in The Shining. Yeah, that shit was amazing. But in
and
The
Popeye.
Shining, okay, and Popeye. First time I heard about Popeye, the movie, was at Dan Hagedorn's house. By the way,
he would.
He had it on VHS.
He would be. He would.
So, but anyway, Shelley Duvall. There's famous stories about him literally driving her fucking insane.
Yeah.
On the set of The Shining, like,
honey,
not just making
darling,
her, give me the bat. Give me the bat.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your fucking brains in.
Some of my first exposures to the Shining story and lore was The Simpsons Halloween
the
horror,
shitting
Treehouse of Horror episodes, and the shitting and he's like, what? I can't remember what he
Or
said.
Slipknot Spit It Out video. Like the Slipknot Spit It Out video. The original video for Spit It Out was a fucking mock-up of The Shining.
I still have that VHS too.
Ah, welcome to our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Brilliant marketing.
Yeah. 20-minute VHS.
That shit was.
This next song's gonna rip you guys a new fucking asshole.
I remember that VHS was a good $5 less than all the other VHSs there too.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck yeah, I can actually afford this.
It was like $12.99 or something at Hot Topic.
Yeah, it was like $12.99
At the mall.
and all the other VHSs were like $20 at least.
And when you bought it, they were like, just so you know, this tape's only like 20 minutes. And I was like, it says Slipknot.
Yeah,
Okay, I want it.
It's 20 minutes of Slipknot, and that's more than I have right now.
Yeah.
Because we don't have YouTube yet.
And DVDs weren't really out yet.
I actually bought a. Excuse me. I bought a bootleg VHS tape on the internet when I was probably around that time, and it was it said that Slipknot was unmasked on it, and the only unmasked stuff it ended up having on it, which I totally got ripped off, was before the first Ozfest they were on. It was like clown up in front with like some sunglasses on, like
Oh god!
setting up his equipment.
Just like the pictures on the internet,
Yeah.
like in 1999, you type in Slipknot unmasked.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "That's totally Craig. That's totally Craig."
Yeah, and of course you had no idea who it was. Nobody knew.
That was one of the things like. I kind of like got down when I saw Slipknot without their mask on. I liked that and not the anonymous behind it.
Right.
I really enjoyed like the personas of it, because it was like watching monsters play music or something.
It was pretty mysterious.
It was very mysterious.
It added another level to what a band could be, or you know what I mean.
And you yelled at that dude. That one dude was like,
Yeah,
give me a guitar, give me something, and you were like, asshole, he's gotta spend time with he's with his kids, asshole, and like you yelled at that dude for
Yeah.
like 10 minutes.
He was clearly trying to just get to the fucking car,
Yeah.
and that was my first.
He gave me a high five though. I remember
Yeah.
Sean gave me. He was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "Oh my god!"
We were the kids that were out waiting for them.
And we met System of a Down too.
We ended up meeting the guitarist for System of a Down, which is
We met Shop. We met all of them. at System of a Down. I'm pretty sure.
I only have an autograph from the guitarist.
From Darren.
Yeah,
I remember they came out though.
I thought it was just him, but I may be remembering it wrong.
It was about 15 something years
That's what I'm
ago.
saying.
Yeah.
Like I remember him because he was
Actually,
wearing a hockey jersey.
He was wearing a LA Kings jersey.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely remember that. They were a super highlight of that show too. Like,
Oh, that was the
System?
toxicity area.
dude, System was fucking on it, and we were right in front of Darren too at that show.
And he moved the audience.
Yeah, he did.
We saw his
And he
butt
wore
crack.
a feather boa, or like a feather, or no, maybe it was like a mink coat or something. The
Yeah.
entire time.
And like a fedora.
Yeah.
But you know that's got to be hot as shit on stage. Oh god, an American Head Charge was there too,
Oh yeah.
with pig heads on stage.
Rammstein.
Rammstein was there. Yeah.
Rammstein. I got pictures from that still.
That was all. I remember feeling the heat from Rammstein.
It was crazy.
I remember me and you had that buddy system just to get air.
Yeah.
We were like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Pledge of Allegiance tour 2001.
Yeah.
That was one of the best shows ever, man.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Because It was just like the Disaster Pieces DVD.
Fucking front row.
Front row.
Ridiculous.
We got there though at like 1:30 in the afternoon. Though.
Oh yeah, we went to school that day, so we probably got there a little like.
That was a school day?
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a school day the next day. I don't remember it being a school day actually of the concert.
Maybe it was like a Sunday.
Because my sisters took us.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
I could check. I could look at my ticket stub or something to see what day of the week that was, but.
Yeah, it's that important.
I would actually like to know because it help because you know how like you dig into those old memories and like you convince yourself that something went one way for so long that it becomes like that's what it was.
Yeah, your mind playing tricks on you and shit.
But really like you talk to somebody and they're like, no, that is not how it happened at all.
Yeah.
And you are wrong. And I remember exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
And they could be wrong too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. I've been in plenty of arguments and shit like that. I mean, well, everyone sees everything through their own eyes.
right.
So. But, like, sometimes you go to, like, setlist.fm, and it's like, this setlist is completely fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't, like, sometimes they'll have, like, 9 songs, and it's like, no, they played at least 12.
Right.
But, we're human beings.
well, it's like
Like the Van Halen song. That's what makes us human beings.
The guy, like at a Mars Volta show that was super on acid, trying to write up a set list afterwards. He gets the entire thing wrong. Yeah,
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's like, no, I knew they played that.
You know, Mars Volta has done concerts of only 2 songs,
I bet they have.
and it's still like, an hour.
An hour long, yeah.
Like they've played festivals where they're like, well, let's just do these 2 songs and extend them for 30 minutes apiece.
Right.
And it's like, you guys are amazing.
That's insane.
They're one of my favorite bands ever, though, Mars Volta.
I seen them. I think I've seen them twice. I want to say twice, and they're both at the pageant. And they're both with Pridgeon on drums.
Oh, damn!
And
that kid was a monster.
Fuck, he still is.
Who is he playing with now?
He's in a side project band. I can't remember what it's called. Draft Tongue Orchestra.
Huh.
With the singer of Alice in Chains.
Of course, not Lane.
No. I can't remember what the new dude's name is.
It don't matter. He's not Lane. R.I.P. Lane Stanley.
Guitarist for Dillinger.
The main guitarist for Dillinger?
Yeah. Ben Wyman.
That's another band we could talk about. Yeah, Dillinger. I love Dillinger.
Ben Wyman and one of the guitarists. Either one of the yeah.
So it's like a super group.
Yeah, it's one of the guitarists and one of the bass or the bass player for Mastodon. And Thomas Pridgeon.
Didn't the bass player of Mastodon do like that thing with Max Cavalera?
Yeah, he did that too. They're all over the place, man.
Yeah.
And Mastodon's getting ready to finish their record.
A new one?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, and I think Tool's working on one too.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah. Did you see Tool last time they were here?
No, I didn't get to go.
With Primus?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Did you go to it?
I did.
Sweet.
A buddy of mine.
How was that?
It was his, well...
I saw the one before that, I think. St. Charles.
Yeah, it was like a greatest hits tour at the Family Arena.
Yeah, St. Charles was fucking awesome.
Yeah. But this was, they didn't even play Lateralist last time I saw Tool. And, they were like, Tool's gonna play a new song. And the new song was
called Descending.
Yeah.
But it was only like a 2-minute clip or something.
It was literally just like, it was literally Maynard humming. Like, it was just like, hum, or like, boom, 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 boom. And everyone was like, new fucking song! And I'm like, they're killing time.
That's not a new song.
I'm like, we'll know a new Tool song when we get it. But I mean, it was Tool live, and
a bunch of rumors this week that it's a double album and it's almost 3 hours long. But that's all speculation at this point. Nobody knows.
Tool don't, yeah.
And Maynard responded with one word: dumb. So you know it's not.
Maynard's a jokester.
There's no fucking way that that's true.
I still want to try his wine real bad.
I would drink it.
Did you ever check out his side project of Pussifer?
A little bit.
It's a lot like it's a little different. But last album they did had some really interesting stuff. Like V is for Vagina.
Yeah,
had some good songs on it.
But I just never really dug too much into it.
It's a lot different. Like he worked. Like every song has a different producer for it. You know, like it's I guess eclectic is the word maybe.
Right.
Eccentric and eclectic maybe, but if you're out there listening, don't listen to Pussifer expecting Tool.
It's not.
Yeah.
Did you saw the Perfect Circle show?
Oh, at the Passion, yes I did. I was front row with that, and I almost suffocated to death.
Yeah, I wanted to get tickets to that.
I gave you my T-shirt for that.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was so because when we were kids, everything had to be extra large. You know what I mean? It had to be baggy.
Yeah.
I was like, now that I'm older, this shirt just looks goofy as fuck on me.
I tried to get tickets too late. Like they sold out like in a day or something like that.
They played the whole Mary Numb album,
right?
Plus like 2 B-sides,
and
it was amazing.
I bet it was. Well, I found out a week later after the show that my cousin had an extra ticket.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and
what's with your cousins?
To this day, that's a different cousin.
God!
Yeah.
No wonder I don't have any cousins.
To this day, like she'll never live that down. Like,
oh, that's unforgivable.
How do you not know that I'm into that?
Especially to such an artistically credible show as that.
Yeah, and I guess we didn't hang out that much and stuff, so like
we could have bonded over that.
I'm not gonna see her all the time, so like,
well, especially now. That name's been crossed off the list.
Now you are exiled from my life.
Yeah. Done.
Man. Yeah. I'm sure there's fucking live footage and stuff I could watch. Now, they never came out with a DVD for that tour, though.
Well, that was before, like, YouTube and stuff like that. You know, there wasn't smartphones and stuff. It was... I remember Maynard came out, and he was wearing a...
There's probably a bootleg somewhere out there.
He was wearing a Speedo. And it had the Perfect Circle logo on the crotch.
He had a wig on, too, right?
We wore a wig for every Perfect Circle thing.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bootleg somewhere.
Oh God, that'd be incredible.
There's gotta be.
That'd be incredible if I could relive that.
There's gotta be a bootleg out there. There's bootlegs of every show ever.
They played this song called it was called Diary of a Love Song. It was Ozzy's Diary of a Madman mixed with The Cure's Love Song.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never. Yeah, that sounds odd, but I would listen to it.
I was forced to listen. I just sit through it, and I didn't mind it.
I'm surprised they didn't put that on their cover album. They did. Their
Emotive or whatever.
Yeah, you would think they would throw that on there.
Yeah, I guess that was like years later. They did that just to get out of the record contract. Yeah. I think really that was really just like a.
It wasn't that good.
It had like. Some parts were interesting.
Yeah.
Like when the levee breaks, I really enjoyed the cover of when the levee breaks.
I didn't even remember them doing that. I need to look into that.
Well, it's like a. It's got that real cool piano and then it's like real bass, like boom boom boom.
Yeah, they do different versions of songs.
But like
I got no fucking time for him doing Imagine. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. But that was the single though.
Right.
That was like the. You guys never heard of Perfect Circle? You like John Lennon, right?
Yeah. That's like Disturbed covering fucking whatever that song is.
Genesis, The Land of Confusion?
No,
That was funny. That was so funny, though.
That was funny. But Disturbed covered a song recently, The Sound of Silence. Yeah. Exactly. That face. If you guys could see the face Brian made.
I have to go to the bathroom. It's a hit. It's a hit. Like top 10.
Oh yeah. I don't know about top 10, but it's definitely a hit. It's all over radio.
Oh, God.
So bad.
And they covered Shout.
That's right, they did.
Shout, shout, let it all out. Please, all the things.
There's a great Disturbed parody online where it's
Disturbed is a parody.
Sure.
In my opinion. Sorry, Disturbed fans. I know there's plenty of you out there
No,
that...
there isn't.
I already made on a bunch of shit people's list, but I'm sorry. I apologize if you're a fan of Disturbed, but
This parody makes fun of their repetitive
Weird Al's
vocal
more serious
phrasing.
to me than Disturbed.
Yeah. It makes fun of their repetitive vocal phrasing, and it is. I'll show it to you later, but it's fucking.
Does he
hilarious.
still do the ooh, ah? He don't do that anymore, does he?
I have no idea.
Disturbed's not with the sickness anymore.
I doubt it.
I remember when you gave me before the Disturbed album came out, you had we were on the bus one day, and it was the band Dope. This was like when bands did sampler tapes.
Yeah.
It was Disturbed Down with the Sickness sampler.
Yeah.
Which when Down with the Sickness first came out, it was like, oh, these guys.
2000, I think.
These guys actually got. It was like, this is actually some promising. Like, oh, I'd like to see what they do later on down the road.
Yeah.
And then it was like, ski Sonny Bono hitting some trees. They just went down the slope.
They've only gotten worse, honestly. In my humble opinion.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you as well. Just the land of confusion. Yeah, covering Genesis. Phil Collins Genesis. Yeah, they didn't cover Supper's Ready.
Well, this is the latest one they did was who is that? Fucking Simon and Garfunkel. Like, what? Yeah, exactly. Speechless.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm sorry I missed that. Did they?
Be glad that you are
Yeah.
unplugged from the radio.
I'm pretty sure my iPhone would break if I Googled it.
fucking terrible.
Well, just thinking, the imagination goes wild just thinking about it.
We should end on something better than Disturbed.
That's what's gonna get the views, though.
What do you want to end on? That's what gets the views.
Keep art alive, folks. Keep art alive. If you got something you like to do, do it. If you love something, keep loving it. And don't let anybody ever stop you with their own hatred.
I think that's a good message to end on.
My name is Brian Kennedy, and I'll be back again someday.
You don't have anything to plug, right?
Maybe next time I'll have something to promote for you people. Maybe I'll get a group going.
That's actually, well, not to get off of your awesome ending that you already did, but
maybe I can seduce.
that's something I respect about you is that you're outside of all the fucking social media and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But
I still know people. People still know me though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a secret guy.
It's possible to do that,
Yeah.
by the way. But I think with the band, like I have to be on it.
Oh well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're like the voice of the group. Really, like you're the.
Well, with the podcast, yeah, but on.
I didn't mean you sing for him.
No. Like we all have equal participation when it comes to online stuff. Like any of us are free to post whatever we want. You know what I mean? As long as it isn't disparaging towards whatever,
Yeah.
or make us look bad.
Yeah.
Then we're free to do whatever.
Yeah.
But
Like Nazi propaganda.
Right.
Thor hammer. Aryan hammer.
but
That was a joke. That was a joke.
It's better. It's better to be safe business wise.
Oh yeah.
And
Especially these days with SJWs.
yeah, and I think that if I could be like you and fucking shut it down, and I didn't have to promote. And
Well, I
stuff
think
like
after today, I'm gonna come out of my shell. Really, I think.
if this is the gateway, then
Yeah.
what a better one.
Do I sound like an old time radio?
When you do that, you do. thank you for joining me, and you're more than welcome to come back on.
It's my pleasure, man. It's been an honor. I'll come back. I'll live here.
maybe next time we do one at Jimmy's. I think we're planning on doing one in August at Jimmy's place, which is like right down the street from your house.
Yeah, I'll walk Judith over.
Yeah, come on over.
We're gonna have Judith give a couple barks for the audience.
There you go. And until next time,
love is the law.